Aloha Manga Club, it's your boy Lohali signing in with the one and only Dragon Ball Dad, aka Mark. How are you doing today, man?
I'm doing awesome. Really brilliant to be here. Can't wait just to chill out and just talk some manga and just have a good time. Perfect Friday night. Thanks for having me on.
Hey, I'm genuinely excited to have you on because before we started talking, we were talking pubs, we were talking beer, we were talking all that good stuff. But let's get to the real meat and potatoes of the conversation, and that's the very first question that I always ask: is how did you get into manga and anime and all that kind of good stuff?
Dragon Ball Z. Like everybody my age in England, it was the only anime that I'd seen at the time. That and Pokemon, I think. But something about that was special that got me to go and read Dragon Ball. And after that, I moved on to Yu Yu Hakusho. So it was just the typical introduction to one of the goats. And it's something that I'm grateful for because I didn't think it would land me where I am now, which is like where I'm obsessed with manga. But yeah, it's Dragon Ball Z. I think most people are the same here.
I really like how you said Dragon Ball Z and Yu Yu Hakusho because those are two, like, to me, those are the quintessential shonen that when I was younger brought me into it. Like, I remember reading Dragon Ball when I was younger. I remember reading Yu Yu Hakusho and obviously watching Pokemon, watching Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't know if that was actually, that's a question that I've never really asked. Was Yu-Gi-Oh a really big deal over in the UK? Or was it just kind of just a Pokemon Dragon Ball kind of situation?
It was more Pokemon and Dragon Ball. I remember Yu-Gi-Oh coming out, and I remember going to the library and like the Chinese kids playing it in the library. But like no one I really knew was heavily into it. I
No
think it
one?
came out a little later here. No, I don't even know anyone who collects the cards. I collect Pokemon cards. Like I love Pokemon, but I don't know anybody who collects Yu-Gi-Oh and plays Yu-Gi-Oh other than through Twitter, where I see it's really big in America. Like I say, like it's very popular.
We used to have straight up like Yu-Gi-Oh card game tournaments at kids' houses. Like I had a class of 30 kids with me growing up all through elementary and middle school. So primary years, I guess, over there. See, I'm learning the language over in the UK, learning what to say. But we would always have like Yu-Gi-Oh get-together parties. We'd have Pokemon parties. But Yu-Gi-Oh was so much easier to get into, at least from a card game perspective. The Pokemon video games were hands down much better.
Oh, those games! I remember getting red. I got Pokemon Red, and my friend got Blue, and being able to trade and just the buzz on the playground and Pokemon cards in the corner shop with £2.50 a packet, and it was just like they'd sell out straight away in like the shop near the school, and it was just who got that Charizard? That was what it's all about.
Oh,
I only
who
got
got that?
it.
Who got that Charizard? Do you want to know who? Do you want to know what the most valuable thing that I have in my possession is?
What?
I have a shiny second edition first gen Charizard.
Oh, that's awesome.
I've
Is
had
it, is
that.
it
Hmm?
is it in good condition? Is
It
it?
is in mint condition. I have it. I will try to find if after this call I will try to find it and send you a picture of it. But I actually have it in one of those little baseball card holders that you can stick an individual card in. I've had it in there since I got it because that's how valuable it was. I didn't even care about the money. It was just the legend of like how many kids do you know that had that Charizard?
One.
One
One.
exactly. That's how big this card was. I even remember the moment that I got it. Like this was the coolest experience. I don't know if my parents did this. I don't know what happened. So when you lose a tooth over here in America, we have the tooth fairy, right? You guys probably
Yeah,
have something like that over there, right?
we
So
have to do too.
yeah, perfect. So then I don't have to explain all this. So I lost my tooth. I had a little tooth fairy box that was handmade. Put your tooth in there, and usually she'll give you like $1.25, $1.50 in coins. Call it good. Well, this time the tooth fairy wanted to do something different. Gave me $1.50 worth of coins and a pack of Pokemon cards. And I opened up the pack of Pokemon cards and I'm sorting through them, and Charizard just slides out, and I shat my pants. I was like, oh my god, it's happening. This is my life. What is going on? I've had that since I was like 6. I've had that Pokemon card for 20 plus years. The only Pokemon related thing that I've had longer than that, two things that are even close to that would be Pokemon Yellow, my very first Pokemon game, which was mint, and I actually cried when I first played it because I didn't want Pikachu to follow me around. I thought it was freaking annoying. So I released Pikachu into the wild without knowing it. And then my grandmother, who we were talking about before this, rest her soul, bought me a gigantic, adorable Pokemon blanket. that has all 4 original starters on it. Because we know, let's be honest here, there were 4 starters. You had Charmander, Bulbasaur, Squirtle, and Pikachu.
Yeah, Pikachu was like the marketing dream. And I guess people like who are younger than us just won't understand how big Pokemon was. Because I don't think there'll ever be anything that big again. It was just ridiculous.
Well, the 90s and the early 2000s were such a weird time for, like, pop culture. Like, the MCU movies are big, don't get me wrong. But that's because there's been 30 plus movies. But think about this. Pokemon and Harry Potter were 2 of the biggest things, and I don't think we'll ever see anything like that in the future. Because I would go to the Harry Potter book releases at night. Like, I would go to those, stay up till midnight, my dad would take me, we'd get the books brand new, like, I'd open them up and I'd just read them. I'd stay up for 24 hours to read the books in one sitting. Like, and then
now you'd have someone on Twitter spoiling the ending before you.
Oh my god, you know how happy I am that Twitter did not, like, I didn't have a Twitter did not really exist when the 6th book of Harry Potter came out. Do you know how much, like, how soul-breaking that would have been? Oh my god. Like, that ending on book 6 was just, whew.
Yeah, and I think then there was like less judgment because there wasn't the internet. Like there was nobody like rain on your parade. Like now you get a booster pack as a kid and you put it on Twitter and you'd have someone say those cards suck. Like whereas then it was like exciting. You know what I mean?
It was that, like, now it'd be like, oh yeah, well I have a first edition super double holographic misprint Charizard scrub. And you're like, I just wanted somebody to feel good for what I did. Like walking into your friend, like going with your friends when you're with their parents, you're going to the store to just hang out, and they buy you a pack of Pokemon cards or Yu-Gi-Oh cards. There was nothing cooler in the world than that. Like sitting with your friends, opening up the packs and just sorting through them to see who got the most powerful cards. And we even had a thing where a couple of us took 20 or 30 bucks to go build our own decks, like at the store. Like we'd buy the packs, build the deck with what was in the pack, and just duel like then and there. It was just a great time. That Pokemon card game though was confusing as hell.
I just collected. I never ever had a battle.
I've never met one person who understood how to play the Pokemon card game ever.
My worst Pokemon memories. I remember I got Pokemon Gold. I played the death out of it, and we had a babysitter around. And I was supposed to tidy my room, and I didn't. And the babysitter took my Pokemon Gold off the floor and put it in the bin. And never, ever got it back. Because I hadn't tidied it. It was traumatizing. I never finished it until last year when I finally got a copy again and got to finish the game.
Oh my god. Are you okay?
Yeah, that's a strict babysitter, isn't it?
That's not even just like what kind of babysitter thinks they have the authority to go, yeah, I'm gonna throw away your video games? Like that's a parent level decision, not a video, like not a babysitter decision is like, okay, you don't get dessert, right? Like small punishment that doesn't cost any money. That's a mean babysitter.
Yeah, she said, if you don't tidy up, I'll throw it away. And I thought, she won't do that. It'll just be in the kitchen cupboard or something. But no, it was gone.
She made direct eye contact and threw that thing in the bin.
Yeah, and it was taken away, but that was too late for me to retrieve it because my mum put the bin out and the bin man came and it was gone. It was.
Oh my god, I'm crying right now because that was my favorite Pokemon game. Like Gold was my absolute. Like it went Gold and then Ruby Sapphire. Where like that's kind of how it went for me. Actually, Gold and Emerald. I never got to play Crystal. I didn't play Silver, but I did get to catch. Typhlosion was my main boy. Like that. If you played Pokemon Gold and Silver and didn't choose Typhlosion, you were making the wrong choice.
I always choose the fire starters, whichever gen I play.
It's Blaziken was okay, but there was something about Typhlosion being able to learn Thunder Punch, Dynamic Punch, Earthquake, and Flamethrower that just made him way too strong.
This is a man who knows his Pokemon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. This is a man who like took on the Elite Four with a level 50 Typhlosion and swept everybody.
Oh wow, that is good going. I just recently played through all the games of my channel, and I got crushed by what's her name? Is it Cynthia, the dragon user? She destroyed me so many times, like before I managed to get a victory. Oh, I need way higher than level 50.
I had strategy on. I didn't know there was such a thing as Pokemon strategy, so I would just bust through everything. By the time that I got done playing the game, so I ended up losing my Gold version. Right, I lost it somehow, and I still think my house was haunted by like some kind of fairies or some ghosts or something. No, so this is the craziest part about it. I had the game, like I knew exactly where the game was because it was a part of my heart and soul, right? Like Pokemon was life. And I had it sitting in a very specific spot, and I went to go find it one day and it was gone. And it gone. 5 or 6 years later, like genuinely years later, I'm cleaning up some bookshelves that are like in the basement. It's at the very top of those bookshelves, covered in dust. And so you might be thinking, oh, you put it there and you didn't think about it. Those bookshelves weren't there when the game disappeared.
Oh, wow.
The bookshelves weren't in my house when that disappeared. And it ended up on the top of there. I was like, so when people ask, do you believe in fairies and supernatural stuff? I was like, honestly, I don't know. But if I do and ever find one, I'm going to slap them for stealing my Pokemon games because that's not the only time that happened.
Do you know if I was a ghost, though, I wouldn't kind of blame him. He'd probably been around since the Victorian days.
And he's just like,
oh, what's this? This is a game. Screw it, I'm going to try this Pokemon game.
I was so mad. I had a level 98 Typhlosion.
Oh.
I had my Togepi. Like, I had like a level 50 Togepi. I had Jolteon, and I had a purple Hypno. I had a shiny Hypno.
I had a little brother, and he used to always save over my game. And it was just like...
If I had had a sibling, I would have been the worst sibling ever, because I would have beat the crap out of them if they did that. It would not have been a good sign. Like, it would have been just like sitting there like, what'd you do? Did you just do what I think you did? And like, put them in a headlock, give them a swirly, like flush their heads down the toilet.
That just took me back to 90s WWE, which was just the best time of wrestling. Like,
yeah, and don't let this discussion on Pokemon distract you from the fact that in 1998, Undertaker threw Mankind off a Hell in a Cell.
I don't think that year was just amazing. Like I used to Friday night, Raw was on here at like 10 o'clock at night, and I was allowed to stay up late to watch it. And the main events were like 1 a.m. on a Sunday, so I record them on the VCR and watching them. It was just so exciting with like The Rock, Stone Cold, Mankind. I used to love like Shawn Michaels and Bret Hart back before then. I don't watch wrestling nowadays, but 90s wrestling was just so good. Like, it's
so over the top, and everyone makes fun. They're like, "Oh, you know it's fake." I'm like, "Yeah, so is your mom's soap operas, and she still loves them." Like,
exactly.
Just because it's fake doesn't mean they're not actually athletes. Like,
well, who would do that? Like, would you jump off a ladder that tall? Most people wouldn't.
Shane McMahon is worth millions of dollars, the son of Vince McMahon, and he's like, give me a higher spot to jump off of. Like, the people who do professional wrestling are absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah, that one where we wrestled Kurt Angle and he like tried to throw him through the glass.
And Kurt
he didn't go through it.
And Kurt was like, dude, he told Kurt to throw me again. He straight up said, do it again, make it right. Because he threw him. I can't remember. It was one of two things. Either they
didn't break the first time. He just bounced off it.
Because what I think it was that was the actual. They threw him through the wrong window.
Oh, so it was real thick glass.
Yeah, it was a real thick glass. And then Kurt Angle broke his neck, and now he only drinks milk. Like, I just love, like, the absurdity behind professional wrestling is just, like, there's something about it. And honestly, let's be real here. Professional wrestling is a lot like shonen manga. It's over the top. It's insanely fun characters. And at the end of the day, they're going to do heel and face turns all the time.
Yeah, exactly. It was a golden time of wrestling. I've tried to watch modern WWE. To me,
yeah,
I still love like Chris Jericho. I've been watching his matches on
AEW. Yeah, dude, that's because Chris Jericho's a genuine superstar. Like,
yeah, he's awesome.
He has the charisma, he has the talent, he has the talking ability to run the microphone.
Yeah, he's one of the best of all time. He's been wrestling since I was little, so I can't actually imagine it.
You know who I think is genuinely probably one of the most underrated heels of all time in the WWE? The Miz. Yeah. The Miz.
Awesome.
He's so good.
The Miz couldn't like. He is, when he first come around, it took a while to warm up to him, but there seem to worse people though. Like people like The Miz should have had like a better run. Like Dolph Ziggler, I thought he was really talented and he didn't get a big run. They kind of just like to bring people in for one night now. Like the old guard, like let Brock Lesnar wrestle once a year. That's like what they do nowadays.
But and that's the thing is, I think so. I think The Miz has a better personality, like better heel personality than Dolph Ziggler, and Dolph Ziggler should not be a babyface at all.
Yeah.
Like they should have leaned into his heel personality, but they kept trying to make him a babyface. Where like with The Miz, they're just like, nah, he's all heel. Even when he's a babyface, he will be the most healed babyface we have ever had. He does it so well. The only person who I think is more natural of a heel. Do you ever remember Vicky Guerrero?
Yeah.
Oh my god, she was the worst villain ever. Excuse me. Oh my god, when she'd come down the ramp with her and Edge.
Yeah.
Oh.
Edge is good as well. It's good to see Edge back. Coming over like an injury like that and going back to do it again is like an inspirational story.
Did you see his actual like walkout when his music played for the first time when he got to get back into the ring? His face, like he just walked out and he was so excited. Like he was genuinely just blown away by the fact that he was getting to do it again. Like that's for me, that's genuine love of the sport, of the profession. You know, that's what makes it so much fun to watch. Is they care about it. It's not just a job. Like back in the 90s, you were a superstar, but you also had so much shit to deal with.
Yeah, well, I look at like Edge, and like they're like the moments that I tune in for again. Like I watched Randy Orton versus Edge because they're like two from my childhood. Like Randy Orton, he's another like all-time great as well, in my opinion. Like he's so talented.
I think Randy Orton is so good, and it doesn't help that he knows how good he is, and he's just like, nah, I'm not gonna try as hard as I have to. I'm gonna do it. He's like, I want to be able to beat myself up year after year to keep earning the paycheck and just to kind of do it. I think one of the best things that I've seen from WWE though was when they were doing their SmackDown Smack Talk, and they had Daniel Bryan and The Miz talking to one another, and Daniel Bryan said something. I don't know if this was a shoot or if this was like actually them getting pissed at each other, but The Miz starts yelling at him and goes, I put my life on the line every single day. I don't quit when I'm hurt. I'm there 365 days a year doing what I can to make sure that we can go on. And he's like, you might call me a coward, but I'm out there every single night where you are sitting on your ass watching this go down. You're a coward. And I was like, oh my God. Like I sat there.
It's nice when they get to like blur that line and they go like too far and stuff. That's what it was always like in the night. Like when Shawn Michaels was like a heel before he got injured, like the stuff he would do was ridiculous, like with the Canadian flag and stuff like that. And it was just like, is he really doing this on TV? Dude,
him versus him, that final match between HBK before Shawn Michaels, Undertaker with Triple H reffing. That is a class. That is one of the all-time best matches because of how they walked out of the ring. Like broken, that was defeated.
The Triple H versus Undertaker, Shawn Michaels ref, that one.
Yeah.
The Shawn Michaels Undertaker matches, the two of them. That first one, not the one he retired on, they were just incredible. I don't think wrestling's like replaced Shawn Michaels yet. I don't think there's like, is it possible?
I think it is possible to replace Shawn Michaels. The problem is Vince McMahon is so old and he still has so much control of what he's doing. That I don't know if he's quite as in touch with what the crowd wants anymore.
Yeah, and his wrestlers, like if they just tread CM Punk properly, because he seemed to be like the next big guy, like, and they just abused him and used him and used him until he left, and now won't wrestle ever again, you know.
But then you hear him talk about other people, like I can kind of like he just seems so bitter and angry about everything now, and realistically, like some wrestlers have reached out and said, "Oh, I like him," and he just says, "Oh, I hate you. You're a terrible wrestler." Blah blah. I'm like, dude, calm down. Just bring it back just a little bit, please.
It must be that thing where you've like lived your dream, but then it's gone. It must be hard to get over. It's like ex-footballers when they like go off the rails when they retire because they don't get that adrenaline's gone, hasn't it?
Oh, I don't know. It's WWE is so fun, and I think again, like I said before, there's something I love WWE so much, but it also spreads into my love of shonen and manga and anime. I love sometimes that trashier stuff that when people are like, oh, you know, it's over the top. Of course I know that something like, let's use Dragon Ball Z, over the top, hands down. But I also remember trying to fire a Kamehameha wave down the hallway when I was in 3rd grade.
Who didn't try that?
I mean, I'm pretty sure I felt some extra heat in my hands one time. I was really close. Like, I was really close, and I was really excited. So
Those Dragon Ball Z, the games, like I had the Budokai game. Me and my brother would just play that like all night. Like
the
it was that was intense rivalry. That
was it Budokai or Budokai Tenkaichi? I can't remember which, because technically, what people don't know is that the Budokai and Budokai Tenkaichi were two separate series of the Dragon Ball Z tournament style. Like, they were almost the exact same game, but they were still two separate games. It was weird.
which one was it? I think it was it was like number two, so it must have been just Budokai like normal, I think. But it's a long time ago now, so
I was so good at that game that one of my friends challenged me on it one time, and he said the only reason why I was good is because I had Kid Goku maxed out. Like, I gave Kid Goku all of the most broken abilities in the game, because why not? Because it's fun. And I said, okay, if you think I'm only good because of my character, you can take whichever character you want. I will take a Cyberman. I beat. I didn't just win. I just, like, he got 2 hits on me and I destroyed him. And I was telling him everything that I was gonna do too. I was like, bring it. Bring it. I was like, I'm gonna fire a blast at you. I'm gonna kick you in the face. I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna fire another blast. And he had, so the Cybermen, for those of you who'd never played, the Cybermen maybe had 1 bar of health, whereas the character that he had 6 bars of health. I emptied all 6.
He must have been absolutely devastated.
He was devastated. He never played Budokai Tenkaichi with me again because he knew that I was holding back whenever we'd fight. Otherwise, it would have been a god stomp. I love those games, though.
Oh, they're good. I don't really like fighters, like the newer games, but those old games, like I've loved. I think it's because I suck at fighters is why I don't like it. But
it's the nostalgia factor of the game being like from your childhood. It's just like why I want to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles again.
I love the Turtles, but if I'm looking at like anime games, Naruto Storm games, like those games are absolutely amazing too. They're my favorite anime games. Where they incorporate the story is just amazing.
I've only played Dragon Ball Z as an anime game. I'm not actually a big gamer.
I'm not now. I was when I was young, but if you like Naruto, you should play the Storm games. They're really cheap now as well. Like, so they are worth getting.
So I like the first half of Naruto.
Yeah, part 1. And then you don't like Shippuden. Is that what you would put it?
I really don't like Shippuden.
A lot of people have that problem, but I love the whole of the Naruto manga. Like I've read Naruto like only 2 years ago, I want to say. Mm-hmm. I read the full thing and absolutely fell in love with it. Like Naruto's story was just so inspirational to me. And then his relationship, like the cast are great. Like really great, and the finish, him and Sasuke being the final battle was just perfect. Like I loved, like Naruto's inspired so much. Like if you love like Black Clover, they take so many elements out of Naruto, and like I absolutely adore Black Clover. So I don't mean that as a criticism, but so much modern anime is taken out of Naruto because it's just one of the all-time greats. A lot of people love Part 1 specifically. I'm like that with Dragon Ball. I really love Dragon Ball. Dragon Ball Z to me is nowhere near as good as actual just Dragon Ball. Like,
I will say Cell Saga Dragon Ball Z is probably my favorite Dragon Ball Z saga, hands down. Just that because it's not focused around Goku anymore. It's focused around the entire cast and the growth. Dragon Ball is amazing. Now I will say that final fight between Naruto and Sasuke is an amazing book into the series, and I kind of wish they had just ended it there. Like, just left the story alone and said, okay, let's try to tell a different story in a different world instead of. I have not read Boruto, so I'm not going to say anything negative about it because I legally can't. But instead of trying to make a cash grab, which is what Boruto feels like it is to me, tell a different, unique story.
The manga is excellent. It really expands upon the world. It shows like the effect that Naruto's had, like what peaceful times are like, and then with like Kaguya and the that clan, it's really expanding upon that now with Ashiki and Kara. So it is a lot different. The anime, I would say, is more of a cash grab than the manga is because the anime is a lot of filler. Like there's only like 50 chapters of Boruto ish, and there's like nearly 200 episodes of the.
Wasn't Boruto an anime before it was a manga?
I honestly couldn't answer that accurately, so I really don't know, but I presume so because of the movie.
Yeah, I think the movie. I think there was a Boruto movie, and then obviously with the Dad of Boruto series that happened beforehand. See, my big problem with the second half of Naruto, and maybe you can change my mind. I'm open to having my mind changed. is I didn't like what they did with Sasuke. It felt
You
like
didn't like.
I didn't like the direction that they went with him. And again, this is more of a personal thing, right? But to me, Sasuke from Series 1, from that first part, didn't feel like the Sasuke from the second part. Even at the end, when they tried to paint him as that kind of stuff, he felt like a different emotionalist character. Because in the beginning, he was full of emotion. He had that smugness. He had rage. He genuinely had a happiness. Like, he was a fully emotionally realized character. But then you come back in Shippuden, and it feels like they just drained away everything so he could focus on the one central aspect that they thought was important to him, and that was getting revenge on Itachi.
Yeah, that was the story. That's what he's doing. He's cutting his ties to try and get the power to gain this revenge. But then once, obviously, the fight happens, that fight with Itachi is brilliant. You've got to say, and the twist with Itachi. The twist with Itachi is amazing.
I don't think that Naruto Shippuden is bad. If I gave that impression, I apologize. What I think is bad is that final war arc. That final war arc was, most of it was okay. Most of it was okay. All the way up until Black Zetsu, White Zetsu, whichever Zetsu, until Zetsu revealed what the entire plan was, and I was like, we're getting the final boss is somebody that we haven't even heard about. Come on.
That's the common consensus. There was little hints towards Kaguya. They had like the Kaguya clan, and they had little, but it wasn't enough to make that like pay off like it should have. It should have been Madara. What I would have done is I would have either finished it after the pain arc, because the pain arc was amazing. Naruto found acceptance. Then you could have had Sasuke show up to destroy the village and have that final battle then, or just had Madara get defeated by Team 7 and then have the Sasuke and Naruto fight, and it would have been the perfect ending to me, because a lot of people don't like the Kaguya thing. It was too out of nowhere. But
like I said,
all in all,
the final
how many
wasn't
mangas are perfect all the way through? That's the thing.
I can think of a few.
Yeah, most endings, like even if you look at something like people rave about nowadays, Demon Slayer, the ending of that for me was absolutely terrible. Like that final fight was just for 20 chapters.
Just a 20 chapter long fight? What is this, Dragon Ball Z?
No, well, they were not literally 20 chapters, but it was really bad. Like, bad endings. Dragon Ball Z. A lot of people would say the Buu arc was really bad.
It was terrible. Dragon Ball Z was supposed to end after the Cell Saga. The Cell Saga, if they had ended right on the Cell Saga, it would have literally been amazing. I think.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been quite as legendary, I don't think, because the Buu arc did give it a lot of hype, especially with Ultimate Gohan, Super Buu, Super Saiyan 3. I hate Gotenks. I hate Goten as a character overall. Nothing that Goten did ever felt earned.
It was just a waste. I don't know why they would introduce him having a kid who is extraordinary, like potential wise, like the youngest Super Saiyan and all this, and then just do nothing with him. It was so weird. Well,
the other thing is, so as I'm sure you know, as a Dragon Ball fan, Gohan was by the end of the series, by the end of the Buu saga, the strongest unfused character in the entire universe. Like, Kid Buu was weaker than Ultimate Gohan. No one gets that. Not a lot of people understand that, but I know you kind of know what I'm talking about, right? What bothers me on a very fundamental level is how Dragon Ball Super now Gohan was like, nah, screw it, I'm not gonna train anymore. Dude, you've not trained twice, and you've gotten screwed over every single time. Just stick with the training. We would have saved the universe by now.
I don't understand why you can't just like go to work, see his wife, and then work out on the night like everybody else who goes to the gym.
Yeah, go 2 hours of battle training every single night. Like, he's one of the smartest people. His dad's best friend is the Trunks family, like Briefs, the Briefs family. Sorry.
Well, they've got the hyperbolic time chamber. Yeah. So you can just literally go there for 10 minutes a night, and then it's hard.
It makes so little sense. Like, him and his dad could spar for 2 hours a night. His dad has instant transmission. Teleport right next to Gohan, fight for an hour and a half, gets to hang out with his dad, gets to see Goten, flies away, comes back. Like, you know how easy that would have been? But no, Chi-Chi screwed over the universe.
I can understand her sort of reasoning. You know, she wants him to be safe and whatnot, but he's actually safer if he's trained and strong enough to fight. Chi-Chi,
have you met your entire family? Your father was the Ox King. His master was Master Roshi. Like, you used to be a badass fighting woman yourself. And then she's like, nah, fighting ain't good, fam. She was literally all about fighting when she was younger. That was it.
Yeah, she trained Goten.
Yeah.
She trained Goten, which is just even more contradictory.
She trained Goten, not Gohan. Like, Gohan got screwed out of every single character in anything. Though I will say, that moment from... Did you ever watch the BoJack Unbound movie?
Yeah.
That scene when he goes Super Saiyan 2 and he just literally walks through the beam, like the strings that were originally holding him back. I was like...
That's everybody's... Like, Cell Saga Gohan is everybody's favorite Gohan. Like, that went downhill after that.
He went downhill after that. Dude, though I will say, though I do like the single arm Kamehameha wave, because Super Saiyan 2 Gohan would have been able to single-handedly just literally... He actually did legal. But he should... If Vegeta hadn't been such a dick...
Yeah.
Gohan would have beat Perfect Cell. But no, Vegeta was like...
Oh, God, I hate Vegeta was the only reason we got Perfect Cell. He was just an idiot. Like,
he was like... So Vegeta's the reason why we got Perfect Cell. Vegeta's the reason why we got why Gohan wasn't able to just completely obliterate Perfect Cell, because Gohan just looks over and goes, all right, I guess we're doing this. Powers back up. Then Cell kills Trunks. Vegeta goes, oh my god, whatever will I do? Well, you have the Dragon Balls, Vegeta. You have the frickin' Dragon Balls. He fires a beam. And we all know that Vegeta can't come back another time because he's already been revived. So Gohan was like, shit. Jumps in, loses an arm. And the one thing that people don't actually get is they're like, I don't like how Goku helped Gohan do the Kamehameha wave. He did not.
Mental. It's like a mental image in
exactly.
Gohan's head.
It was Gohan taking over the mantle from his dad. Goku was just in his mind saying, you can do this, release your power. He didn't actually give him anything extra.
It's funny because if I was Gohan, I wouldn't have said Vegeta. Why is risky? I just say fuck Vegeta. Like,
just look at him. Dick, you deserve it. Exactly. See ya. We'll bring Trunks back. I like him.
Oh, everybody likes Trunks.
Dude, though
that was like the best part of Dragon Ball Super was having future Trunks back for a little bit, and then they just sent him off to a random dimension for no reason. They're just keeping him in.
I think probably one of my favorite moments from Dragon Ball Z is when Gohan kicks Frieza in the face. When I think it was Frieza Form 2.
Oh, when he gets at the rage boost. And he kicks him into the water, it's like blasting.
And Piccolo's like, Krillin's like, what the hell is going on? And Piccolo goes, listen, we have like 3 minutes before this goes bad. We need to do some things.
Oh yeah, Piccolo, when he enters that battle as well, he's just so badass, but he lets him transform. He's like, just level up. It's okay. I'll watch.
The only reason why Goku did it, at least we know why Goku does that kind of thing. Goku's stupid and like, oh yeah, no, I'll train. I want to fight him at their best. Piccolo, on the other hand, is a strategic fighter. You'd think he's transforming. Let's kill him while he's in the middle of it. Got it.
But it's just the unwritten rule.
So what's your thoughts on Black Clover? Actually, I've been watching the anime and reading the manga. I've made it past the Witch's Forest so far.
Oh, you've got some good stuff coming.
I'm excited. Asta. Spoilers ahead for Black Clover for anyone who cares. I know that Asta's a demon, right? Yeah. He has kind of demon elf, kind of like elf lineage or something like that. Probably
Asta's just Asta. We haven't been told his lineage yet. The devil is like within his grimoire and like gives him power, but he isn't actually a devil himself.
Interesting.
You'll see later on. It's kind of like Naruto with the Nine Tails.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
You see them like communicate.
So I really enjoy Black Clover, and I probably sound like a broken record to a few people because it knows exactly what it is and it does not try to hide the fact that it is trash shonen. Like, and I mean that with the most love and respect in my heart. Like, I don't mean that as like an insult. I mean this is the king of trash shonen. It doesn't try to hide anything about itself. The first chapter that you read, the first episode, not going to talk about the first 14 episodes of the anime are a little weak just because they have Asta yelling literally every 34 seconds and it's bad. But the first chapter they reveal, he doesn't have any magic. He works hard. He's going to get through this on the power of friendship. As long as I go in knowing that, I'm okay with it. And that's fine.
That's nice that you were like that because a lot of people hate on it for like no reason. They're like, it's just it's weird the hate it gets. And actually, like Tabata come out and said he had a manga that got cancelled, so he was given advice to write something that had these tropes in, so it would become like popular, and then take the story his own way. So when you get into like the elf arc, like it gets so different, it becomes so unique, and the stuff we're getting now with like the Dark Trident stuff is very, very dark and very, very different. It's like Shonen Berserk. That is kind of what the inspiration's from, and how I would describe it. I adore Black Clover. It really comes into its own, and it doesn't deserve the hate. It's a motivational story. I love the relationship with Yuno and Asta. I think that's really well done. Like, it's a different kind of rivalry.
They're not rivals. They're best friends. Like, they're genuinely the best friends. And when everyone's like, oh, but they make fun of each other, it's like, do you not have a friend? Do you not have any friends? Like, Yuno straight up, like, has saved Asta before and gone, look at you lying down there all broken. I thought you were going to be the Wizard King. And then Asta sits up and goes, oh, yeah, well, I thought you were going to be the Wizard King. You shouldn't have had to come to save me. I'm going to save myself. Like, it's... I love...
The other criticism it gets is the animation, but the animation in the big moments is really good. I think it's got more consistent now, but in the big fights, the animation really comes out. Have you seen, like, you want to see, like, the Julius fight yet? When you see that fight, that looks just freaking amazing.
I have not. The thing that sucks the most is I can't find... They stopped doing the English dub of it.
I haven't watched any dubs, so I haven't...
So I do enjoy dubs of stuff that, like, I can kind of... Like, with Black Clover, you can look away from the anime. Like, if you have the dubs going, you can look away, do something else, and you can look back and you haven't lost yourself anywhere. That's why I like dubs on Shonen like that.
The only reason I watch sub is because I'm too lazy to change the setting.
I can respect that. I can respect that.
No other reason.
I can respect the fuck out
I'm
of
not
that.
one of those guys who was like, dubs suck. What it is dubs used to suck. Like, when we were young.
Yeah.
Now dubs have become way more accurate and just translate what they're given rather than making stuff up like they used to with Dragon Ball.
Oh my god. Or Pokemon. Have these jelly donuts. Hey guys, it's Brock. Let's have these jelly donuts. And he's holding up some onigiri. I'm like, when did
One
jelly
Piece with Sanji having a lollipop instead of a cigarette.
Oh my god, the 4Kids dub changes. Or how do you know how Najiko so you know how Nami's mom died in the 4Kids dub? They starved her to death. That was it. Like, it changes it from Arlong pointing a gun at her head and pulling the trigger. They paint the gun out and paint his hand pointing at her.
Oh my god.
Yes, that's how bad this is. But
there must be people who just thought that was real One Piece and just never ever like fell in love with it because of that dub.
Oh my god, One Piece is so good, but I want to avoid talking about it because I talk about it so much. I want to talk about Black Clover because it's something that I don't get the chance to talk about very often. It, to me, the very beginning, and again, it feels so tropey, and I love it because it's so tropey. He's doing everything almost perfectly within trope guidelines, which people don't get is an artwork. Like, it's...
People say it's copying, but what it is it's taking the best aspects of successful things and putting your own spin on it.
I'm literally not... I never expect Asta to do anything. Like, I expect him to get through it with the power of friendship. Like, absolutely. That's exactly how I expect every single one of his fights to end.
Oh my god, the latest chapter, like, you see him have a real failure, and it is so heartbreaking because you've seen, like, all of that in the past, and then when you see him fail, it is such a payoff.
Oh, that's gonna suck. Oh my god.
I can't wait for it to be animated.
Dude, you know what I'm looking forward to? I'm looking forward to the animation of Eden Zero.
What was that? Sorry, I didn't hear that.
I'm looking forward to the animation for Eden Zero by Hiro Mashima, the creator of Fairy Tail.
Oh wow, I've not read it.
It is spectacular. So, did you like Fairy Tail?
I've watched bits. I'm not the biggest guy in it, but what I've seen, I've liked.
Okay, so this is my spiel for Eden Zero. It uses the exact same looking characters as Fairy Tail, but it is so much darker. Imagine One Piece in space with a little bit of Berserk.
Oh wow. No, that sounds good. That does sound good. There's a lot of good anime coming up. I'm waiting for Yuyutsu Kaisen. Have you been reading that
Mm.
in Jump? That is amazing. That is like my favorite thing. I did a review on the channel for people to check it out, but that is insane. Like the leader in that, like the mentor figure, is like what I say is like the new Kakashi. He's like just the best mentor I've ever seen. He's like overpowered, but to the point where the bad guys are like petrified of him. They have to figure out a plan to like contain him. He's that powerful. They can't like fight him because he'd kill them instantly, and he knows it as well. It's just such a great manga. That's going to be the biggest anime when it comes out.
You think it's gonna be
Honestly,
bigger than Demon Slayer?
Demon Slayer, yeah,
It was.
rightfully so. Demon Slayer was only big because of the animation.
It was, and even then, the animation wasn't. It was good, but it wasn't even the best anime from like that year.
Like I like Demon Slayer. I just thought it ended poorly. I think the Red Light District arc that's not being animated yet was the best of it. I think it was just overhyped, but that happens now a
My
lot.
my wife loved Demon Slayer though. Like hands down,
What
she
the,
loved it.
she ready for the movie?
She is pissed that they're doing a movie and not another full season.
Oh, I don't know. I think that cinema experience is like the best thing of being a modern day anime fan. Like getting to see One Piece at the cinema. Like I never thought that would happen. Even the My Hero Academia movie I went to see, and I'd not, and it was just an experience I never thought I'd had. Like it used to be like anime was like I watched it in my bedroom on my own and never told anyone about it. now I've got the t-shirts on. I'm
We went,
running around.
Sydney and I. So we got to go see the My Hero Academia Two Heroes movie, the very first
Yeah.
one that came out. That was awesome. I wanted to go see One Piece Stampede when it came out in theaters. She did not.
Didn't you?
I did not get to go see One Piece Stampede in theaters.
Oh, you should have went alone. I went alone. My wife's not into anime, so I just rock it.
I I was so upset because One Piece Stampede with Bullet is so fun. It
That's brilliant. All of the One Piece movies are all good.
One Piece movie Gold, One
Yeah,
Piece 3 Days 2 Years.
I'm trying to
What,
figure that one.
that was more of like a mont. It was more of like a bridge story instead of a unique. It's weird. It's weird. But what was the one? What was One Piece Gold? God, Strong World.
Yeah, that is another top tier one. Like that's one. Most animes are rubbish films.
One
Like,
Piece is just like, nah, we're gonna do all of it all the time.
what do you think of like them doing like live action One Piece?
It's not gonna work.
I don't think it will.
Netflix screws up all live action adaptations that it touches.
I don't know why they take something like Death Note. Like I love Death Note. That was like one that really got me into it. I don't like. In hindsight, it wasn't as great as I saw it at the time. But like the movie, what did they do with the movie? Like, why not just do it like it is in the manga? Like that's what I don't understand. What's the reasoning behind it?
I don't know. I'm okay that they ruined it though because it gives me so many more memes to talk about with Death Note.
You don't like the manga?
I do not like Death Note. I think it is one of the most overhyped shonen of all time. I think that they should have ended it after the middle, and I think the wrong person
Hell,
after L, and I think the wrong person died. I think the wrong person won. If you read the story all the way up until a very specific point in the story, Light was behind. Light was losing up until a very specific point. And then they introduced a rule out of nowhere that Ryuk had never talked about, that was not written in the Death Note, that was the only reason why Light was able to win.
he added the rule, didn't he? That gave him the victory. He added the false rules.
He added the false rules, but the main rule that gave him the win, because if you paid attention to the manga and the anime, L was still suspicious of Light all the way until the very end. He was never not suspicious of Light. He might have been 97% sure instead of 99, but he was still like 97% sure. The eyes, the Shinigami eyes, were the only reason why Light won.
I thought it was clever the way he got rid of his memories, giving him the passing of the book and all that sort of stuff that went down. I loved it. I do feel the second half was weaker, but it wasn't that Death Note was so great. Death Note was the first thing that wasn't like a typical shonen that I read that like opened up my eyes, and I think that did that for a lot of people. I did like Bakuman that they did afterwards, the manga.
I liked Bakuman
stuff.
better. I liked Bakuman a lot better.
The current one, the Platinum End, is it?
I think it's
I've
Platinum
been,
End. It's either
I've been
Platinum
reading
End
that.
or let me, because they're working on Platinum End and they're working on. And if I could spell platinum. Also, so while I'm looking this up, my wife, we've been watching Top Gear.
Yeah.
And, yeah, and it is Platinum End that they've been watching. She loves the way that apparently the Brits say aluminium. Even though it's the exact same word, you guys added an extra letter.
Aluminium.
Yeah, it's aluminum. Like, if you look it up, it's actually spelled differently.
Aluminum. That's
Aluminum.
how you say
Yeah.
aluminum. It's
Right.
aluminium.
Yeah. So
It's like, why do you guys call petrol gas?
because
I
it's
don't get that.
gasoline.
It's petrol over here. It's used on sneakers instead of trainers and pants instead of trousers, and there's so many
Well,
differences.
pants and trousers are two completely separate things, though. Pants are trousers, but not all trousers are pants.
Pants are just what you wear under your trousers here.
No, that's underwear. Because you're wearing it, you're underwearing it.
There's so sidewalk. We call it the path.
Well,
Pavement.
yeah, you call it, yeah. Or what do you call a curb?
It's still a curb.
Okay, see, we found common ground. We are modern day peacemakers.
Exactly. I find these differences in languages so interesting. But in England, like if I drive an hour, they'll talk completely different to what I talk anyway.
The accents over there are insane, and as an American, I love making fun of them.
You can do British.
I cannot. I do a very terrible Irish one. I can do. So dot all get it done, lad. Dot beer over there, like dot. See to us dot like that. You do the D and the T. The D replaces the T. Oil get it done. Dot is one of the few things that a few people don't understand. Is when you're speaking like this over here in America. Americans think that you sound pretty like Scottish. Like Scottish is deeper. You draw it out, and everyone over here thinks that that's a really good accent. It's not. It's really terrible. Like
You're better than me. You're better than me at it. Like I can't do it at all. Like
so,
literally at all.
the only reason why I can do a semblance of an Irish one is it's a dot oil. The I becomes oil. Like you replace it like a few of the letters you replace with words in your head. You just gotta say them like that when you're talking. Like TH becomes D. Apparently. At least
Nah, I try to think. I can't even picture it, man. I'm just getting like listen to Father Ted in my voice, in my head, and that's all that's coming in.
the other thing that sucks is Ireland has literally 50 different accents.
Wow, that's such a small country to have that many different.
It's because they do it by like because you have, and this is again all internet learning, so this isn't 100% fact. I'm probably wrong, but some of them are just like, just a little bit different of their vernacular. But then you get some of the like real deep Irish, like where you have to have somebody translate it for you, even though they're still speaking, English. They're not. We might not be speaking the Queen's English, but they're still speaking English.
The girls I went to uni with from Strabane. The man from Strabane, like, and they all spoke different when their friends come. Like they were just nice people. I had a good time with the Irish. They're very, very nice people.
So America actually has like a ton, like where we're at. So to us, this doesn't sound like an accent. There's no. To me, I know it sounds really weird to say that, but to me, this is a very base language. And if you go anywhere in the United States, a lot of news anchors have this same style of speaking that the Midwest has. But then you get kind of deeper south, they get that little drawl in their mouth, they get a little bit dip in their lip, sound like they're talking like this, right? That's that Texas accent right there. You get that talking right there, and they keep going, and they say, yeehaw, and they do all that kind of stuff, bang, bang, shooting their guns. Then you get like that California vibe, man, where you're just sitting there. It sounds like they rolled up a nice old blunt, and they're just like always just talking so slow. And then you get to New York, and New York accents are a little bit different, they're a little bit hotter. That's Boston, and like it's weird. There's a bunch of I can't do Australian actually. I cannot do Australian.
You're pretty good. You could do like the whole voice acting thing by the seams of things.
It would be a lot of fun. The hard part is I forget the accent that I'm in sometimes midway through a sentence, and so I'll just transition to another one without meaning to.
But yeah, American accents. There's like you say, there's a lot of. I talked like everybody on YouTube's American really that I've worked with. and most of them are like, yeah, there's such a variance. But I like Americans. I didn't realize how friendly and nice Americans were until I started doing YouTube, because my only experience of Americans before that was I was on holiday in Barcelona
Oh
and
yeah, no.
in a bar, and there was a group of Americans who were doing the whole USA, USA,
Oh
USA.
my God,
Show.
people actually did that?
Yeah, they were doing that. Yeah, and like saying like basically just said our country sucked.
That's okay. I don't want to be that guy. That is such an amazing movie moment. Like, I would have loved to see that in real life.
But I just thought like, God, is that they really like that? It was what I thought was until I got to talk to more Americans and realize that was just like a unique.
That's like
experience.
that's like me basing all of my assumptions on Great Britain off of Jeremy Clarkson, James May, and Richard Hammond.
They're not bad people to base it off of.
I honestly, I would love to meet them in real life. From everything that I've
saw
heard.
Jeremy Clarkson at a Blur concert.
What?
Yeah, Blur. I went to watch Blur at Hyde Park, and he was in the crowd. He's so tall.
He's
So
such a tall
funny.
human being. Like, James May is like 6 foot, but Jeremy Clarkson is like 6'3", 6'4", and then Richard Hammond is my height.
Yeah, he was so tall. That's what I got from that. I didn't get to speak to him. It was like in the distance in the crowd, but it was like obviously him.
You were like, okay, there's a grumpy looking old man. Okay, yeah, definitely Jeremy Clarkson.
He was having the time of his life by the seams of things.
From every I've only heard like a few negative. I've never heard anything negative about James May. I've never heard anything negative about Richard Hammond other than he can't drive.
Yeah,
Jeremy,
that man's brilliant to carry on doing that job after those crashes.
after the crash with the supercar in Sweden, I think it was.
Yeah, with the brain damage, and
Oh,
I suppose his wife let him do it again.
I thought the big thing with the Swedish one was the shattered leg, shattered hip.
Oh, did you know which one am I thinking of when he had to like learn everything again? Like he really.
Oh God, that
Was like this what they're called? Those cars that blast off and need like the parachutes on the back.
Okay, so he did the jet-powered car in 2006, but okay, I'm looking at this. The vampire dragster crash was filmed for Top Gear, at Elvington Air Base, New York, on September 20th, 2006, and then, good lord. Yeah, his vehicle, a dragster called Vampire, was theoretically capable of traveling at 370 miles an hour.
Wow. You need some qualifications to drive that. You can't just be a normal car fan and get in one of those.
That makes me, like, I'm just reading through this article and it makes me feel like so much better knowing about like Jeremy Clark, like their actual relationship.
Oh, they're close. They're like really, really close friends.
Apparently, for 5 weeks while Hammond was recovering in the hospital, Clarkson sent a funny message to Mindy, Hammond's wife, every day to keep her going.
They did that thing as well where they said they'd just pretend on the show like nothing had happened. Like that was like the inside like joke. You know, just carry on.
The one that they actually did do though was the Rennick Concept 1 crash, which was absolutely hilarious to see them talk about on the Grand Tour. He was in Switzerland. Hammond was doing his last run up a timed hill climb, and while crossing the finish line, the car ran off the road. Hammond remained conscious throughout and later described the feeling of, oh God, I'm going to die. James May and Jeremy Clarkson both witnessed the scene from afar, believing Hammond dead. May recalled feeling a blossoming white-hot ball of piercing horror, and Clarkson described his knees turning to jelly. Holy cow. Dear Lord. It's just so interesting. Yeah, but he had to be cut out of that car. Just insane.
Yeah, like I was in a small knock and it put me off driving for a couple of days, so I don't know.
No, sorry everyone. Didn't mean to lose. I love watching Top Gear and the Grand Tour. Like
I didn't like the new cast that they brought in. You know, they did it with Matt LeBlanc, and
Matt LeBlanc wasn't the problem, which is the thing. He was actually genuinely good.
Yeah,
It was
it
the
was just a strange choice, though, wasn't it? Like,
you're like, where did Matt
where-
LeBlanc come from? But everyone else in the show was at least like it was Matt LeBlanc. You could tell genuinely cared about it because they tried to do an American version of Top Gear.
oh, did that? Didn't
Yes, they
work.
did on the History Channel. That did not last very long. It's just
The
because,
history, yeah.
yeah, it's just because James May, Jeremy Clarkson, and Richard Hammond are all so like good at what they do, and they're so close friends. At least from what it appears, because you can't spend literally that long in the wilderness with each other without at least slightly enjoying each other's company.
No, definitely not. And I think there's just something special about those three. Like it was, and like Top Gear like was like a family event every like Sunday night. Like all the family would watch it. Like everybody, like if you don't like cars, you like Top Gear.
Oh yeah, you don't have to like cars to like Top Gear. You just have to. They're just so entertaining in the way that they talk, the way that they interact. I didn't know that Jeremy Clarkson was actually a documentarian before this, like or while he was doing it. I didn't know that he did documentaries.
Oh yeah, he does all sorts. He's never off the telly, Jeremy Clarkson, or at the newspaper. He has the odd controversial opinion.
Every now and then, but you know what? We all have our own controversial opinions, and that's okay. That's
And it's part of the fame game. I think if some people can make that work, where like they can say what they want, and it's just like they let off with it, and he's one of them.
yeah. He's one of them that can just say whatever they want. I think one of the most entertaining things was watching. I saw a clip from the F Word where it was James May versus. Oh God, I'm blanking on his name. British chef.
British chef Gordon Ramsay.
Yes,
Was it?
Gordon Ramsay. It was Gordon Ramsay and James May were making like a fish casserole or something like that, and James May won. And he just looks over and he's like, "Well, can you drive?" It was apparently I don't know how that works over there in Great Britain, but you guys seem like a great bunch of lads. Like,
I think we've just got that thing where we just mock each other. Like we're just used to like them. We've just got to get on because of the miserable weather and the miserable the miserable nature. We still have this sarcasm.
you just take them,
Us.
you just take the mick out of one another.
Yeah, that's how we survive.
What is that saying? Okay, what does that saying mean? Take the mick out of one another. What is like I know I can like take the piss, take the mick. I can understand some of it. Why is it specifically mick?
No idea. Take the Michael, as you would say. It's just what it is. It's just the phrase. I don't know. You'll have to Google that one. I have no idea where that comes from. It's like raining cats and dogs and all those sort of expressions would make no sense.
Just man, it's just like I said, I enjoy every conversation that I get to have with people from over there. Alex from Alonzi fame, Zach from Uchu Shelf, then Emma Highland Manga. Like all of you guys are so chill and down to earth. It's great getting to have conversations with people like you.
Oh, that's nice to say. I will watch all those guys' videos, but I've never actually spoken to any of them.
You've never spoken to any of them?
No, never. You're the first person to like because I know all these from Twitter, like follow each other and stuff. But this is the first conversation I've had with any of you, so it's been fun.
It's enjoyable for me as well. I'm super excited that I'm getting to have this talk with you. We are getting near the end of our hour, so there are a few more questions that I want to get through. Like I said, first and most important, what is one manga or anime that you feel everyone needs to watch or read?
Oh wow. Like there's a few. Like I love Hajime no Ippo would be a big pick. Like that's the best sports manga.
Thank you.
I assign me Pun Pun. That Pun Pun is like an emotional monster. I love monsters. There's so many. I love Berserk is obviously one that everyone would signal out. If you want like a shonen, the best shonen is probably Hunter x Hunter, even though it's not finished. Or Full Metal Alchemist. I love Full Metal Alchemist. There's so many I love. Like I could go on all day. I really could. But what's your thoughts on like Hunter x Hunter? Can it be counted as a masterpiece if it never gets finished?
I think it can be because we count all of Da Vinci's works as a masterpiece, right? But he didn't finish everything that he ever did. To me, Hunter x Hunter needs to at least finish this arc out to be considered one of the best of all time. I don't think it currently is. I think that Togashi should have paired with somebody to finish the artwork.
Well, just ask your wife. Your wife did Sailor Moon. She's fantastic at art. Like, just tell her what you want her to do and get her to draw it. It's
Like,
obvious to everybody
you come up
else.
with a story, she draws it. It would be awesome. I will say, I think I have a few problems with Hunter x Hunter. I also think that Berserk is better than Hunter x Hunter.
Yeah, but it's Jordan, is it? It's darker.
No, it's much darker. But everyone likes to compare Hunter x Hunter and Berserk to one another partially because of the hiatus thing and partially because of the depth of writing. But
yeah, Berserk for me is like so emotional. Like the wait though for chapters destroyed me, and I waited so long for like not the last chapter that we got, the one before it, and I waited for that, and that chapter just had nothing in it, and I could have cried after.
was that the fairy forest one?
Yeah, and they just I'm trying to think what there wasn't much happened in it. It was basically
the fact that we can't remember what happened in the most recent like one of the most recent 2 chapters is not a great sign.
Like you wait all that time and then no progression.
It looked beautiful. Don't get me wrong, it looked beautiful, but it just
Duranki looks beautiful, and I think don't do Duranki, just do Berserk. Finish Berserk first,
please. But I noticed how you pointed out 2 exceedingly long-running series as things that people need to read. Hajime no Ippo, running since 1989, and Berserk. I think Berserk is slightly older than Hajime no Ippo, if I am correct.
Like never misses a chapter. It's just I don't know how he does it consistently. Just
he does
never breaks.
George is a monster. Actually, they both. Okay, I'm about to blow my own mind here. Berserk has been going on since 1989 October and has 40 volumes. Right?
Yeah, I was born.
Hajime no Ippo has been going on since 1989 October. They both started in the same year. They both started in the same month. Hajime no Ippo and oh my god, that's actually mind blowing. Okay, so Hajime no Ippo, October 1989, 128 volumes.
It's insane. That's what I mean. That he's just a workhorse.
He does, and don't get me wrong. The most recent arc. I'm disappointed in the most recent fight. I know why it happened. I'm hoping that we'll see some blowback from it. I just want Ippo back in the ring.
A lot of people do. It's going to be the build. It's going to be a big moment when he comes back,
dude.
It's going to be like...
Do you know what I mean when I say the slap? That was probably one of the most like spine-tingling moments that I've ever seen in all of like in all of manga. Just that one scene, like I got literal chills when I saw his face look like that.
With Hajime no Ippo, like I remember when he first lost, like that.
That was one of the most heart-wrenching things.
Yeah, and then when you realise he's injured, he keeps having these losses, and you're like, I couldn't believe that, and he retired. I never saw that coming.
I think the thing that bothers me is he's not punch drunk though. He just wants to be punch drunk. He wants to be so he can have an excuse as to why he loses. It's not that he wasn't strong enough. It's that he's trying to find an excuse. And with that, like I'm so frustrated because Kumi is the absolute worst character to pair him with. She's the worst character to pair him with. There were like 4 other love interests that would have helped push him and make him a better person. You take a look at Date's wife. She basically forced it. She basically held a gun to his head and said, "You get back in that ring. You better show our kid that you're better than what you are right now."
He needed that comeback, but again, I wish I wanted him to win as well. It was like such a.
But now, do you realize who do you think his opponent's going to be?
Oh, I don't know. Actually,
Ricardo is standing in the ring. The greatest, like the most hype box. We've seen him fight once. Genuinely, we've seen him display his powers once in this entire manga. He's standing in the ring, and we don't know who his opponent is going to be. Is it wrong if I want it to be Volg?
Oh no, that would be good. That would be good. We do like seeing the wolf come up.
I want the wolf. I want the lightweight trio to come back. The strawweight trio to come back and fight each other. I want to see Volg, Sendo, and Ippo go up against each other again because
we're never gonna get the Ippo fight we always wanted that we would tease that. I kind of liked how they didn't get the big fight, and it was like different divisions. We can never do it. Do you think surely we can never get to that point?
I never want to see that fight.
You don't want to.
I don't want to. I think it served its narrative purpose. I love how we both know exactly which fight we're talking about. We haven't mentioned the character. I love this. I think it served its purpose. I think that they're two completely different stories. One is a story of trying to prove that he's the best by simply being the best. If he cuts down to the weight class that Ippo's in, he won't be in his best form. Ippo will have the advantage, and that can't be. Unless it was to be an exhibition match, which I could see happening, not an official one, but an exhibition one, that would be okay. What I'm terrified of is Takamura hasn't moved up. Oh my god, the build-up was so good, and then Randy Boy Jr. came out of nowhere.
Yeah, and I was just like, oh. I was heartbroken, but then I wasn't, because Randy Boy in the storyline linking it with his dad was like so good. So.
Oh my god, dude, Randy Boy. Somebody asked if I could do an abridged go over every single fight in Ippo since the end of the anime. I was like, dude, I was thinking about doing an abridged version of the entire manga, just sitting there joking, like saying every single fight, like going chapter by chapter and saying just like, oh, this happens here, this happens here, this happens here, like one sentence for each. That's 13,000 sentences.
I could do with that for a recap anyway, because I'm never going to reread it. To be honest, I love it. I'm never going to reread it.
I've reread it 3 times.
Oh, wow, that's dedication.
That is, so when it comes to knowing exactly what the series is about, the biggest disappointment for me in the entire series is the Wally fight. I think that shouldn't have happened. It was not needed.
Wally was the jungle guy.
Yep, the jungle guy who could somehow float by just holding his arms straight out on a rope that shouldn't have been able to support his body weight. Didn't make any logical sense. Like, George normally does a very good job of keeping it realistic, but with the Wally fight, he just leaned into the craziness of it all.
Yeah, he really did. I think it's because he's like the writer runs a boxing gym in real life, if I'm correct.
He does. Yes, he does.
And that really comes across, especially in like the trainer and like the weight loss. Like, you see how brutal the weight loss is.
Ippo's never cut weight.
Yeah.
Is he?
Yeah,
and he's 132, I think, isn't he? I think he's in the 132 class.
I'm not, like I said, once I've read every chapter, not enough to remember the little details like that. But to me, it's the character. Even if you like, the characters are just so good. Like, the main gang of that gym, you so root for them. Like, you really want them to win every fight, even though it doesn't happen. And every loss kind of cuts you. Like, you feel the pain that they do. You don't want anyone to retire. You want them to find a reason to keep going.
I want Takamura to finally move up a weight class. That's all that I want right now.
Oh, Takamura, he's just incredible, isn't he? He's incredible.
That Brian Hawk fight?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that was the stuff. He's just a monster, isn't Takamura? Like that. And the pranks he plays and the way he talks to everybody else is just hilarious to me.
You can tell that, like, deep down he has a really good heart, but he doesn't know how to express his friendship to other people.
The dude battered a bear.
He punched a bear in the face. He punched it in the face.
Yeah, it's just one of the best. I can't believe more people don't read it, and I don't know why they stopped the anime, because the anime is was so good.
It was one. It's one of the best
anime. Like, I don't know why they didn't carry it on. It could have been like a One Piece type anime where it's just kept going and going and going. Was the viewing bad? It must sell well to carry on this long.
I don't know. I don't even know. It's just so good. But again, we are at the... I can talk Ippo for the next 6 hours if I really felt like it. But we are at the end of the show, which means that it is time for the random question of the day. For those of you that do not know, I look around my environment, I find something random, and I ask a question that is inspired by it. Last time that I asked, it was what kind of tea somebody was. Oddly enough, I swear I didn't plan it. They were from the English Isles over there, that channel in the great sea of the Atlantic. So today, my question is, what kind of hole punch are you? Are you a 3-hole punch? Or are you just one of those like little clippy single hole punches? Are you a shaped hole punch? Like, do you do stars?
I'm probably sadly a single hole punch, because I don't think I really stand out too much.
I think you do a decent job of standing out.
On YouTube. In real life, I just kind of get on with my day quietly.
Oh, that's okay. That's because that's the British way. You keep your head down, you keep walking forward, and you go to the pub at the end of the day. So you are a single hole punch, while I am a star hole punch. That is okay. I can accept that. I'm glad that I have my single hole punch friend Mark here. Mark, I want you to plug what you have coming up. Let people know where to find you, and I will link that all in the description down below.
Oh, we've just got we do Black Clover weekly discussions and the chapters. We do Boruto and Naruto, and we do like just full manga reviews every now and then, every time I binge a series. But the main focus is Boruto and Black Clover. So if you like those two, please come on over.
I absolutely recommend it. Mark is such a killer guy, and I enjoyed having you on. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You guys know where to find me because obviously you are watching and listening to the Manga Club. So please, if you have not liked, share, and subscribed to this channel, to this video, you need to, because that's the basic etiquette of YouTube as to what everyone tells me. For everyone new, welcome. For everyone old, welcome back. It's your boy Lohali, and I will see you next video.